Hi everyone, welcome back.
What up, YouTube?
This has been a long time in the making. I was planning to do this video at the same time as I was building the Suitcase computer, but life kinda came in the way, school and all. And until now I haven't had enough motivation, enough free time, or enough creativity to make a video. But now everything changes. As you can see, some changes are that I am no longer up in my attic. For some of you, you may know that it is winter time, and winter time in Sweden means it's fucking cold outside. And my attic doesn't have the best insulation, so it's what can I say, -10 out there, and I don't want to do a video in outdoors clothing. That would be a lot in the way. The idea of this project started when I watched the YouTuber Droga1's video about this exact same concept. He'd also built a Suitcase computer. I will link the video in the description. It's a good video. I think it's a lot longer than this one though. So ever since the 9th of October 2020, I have started to gather parts and other stuff for this exact construction, this project. The part list I will show on screen now. Movie magic. Whoa. And everything started when I upgraded my 960 to 3070. RTX 3070. I know, it's impressive. I got it when it was like no supply at all. Of course, I didn't pay MSRP for it, but what can you do? At least I got the card, not from a scalper. That was back in January 2021. Later, one of my friends conveniently chose to upgrade his CPU and motherboard. So that was, I just asked kindly and got those for free. So that's good. And later, another of my friends upgraded his RAM, so I was able to buy the old RAM from him from a very cheap price. The suitcase of the Suitcase computer, this one right here, this suitcase, I bought it second hand with the price tag still on it, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera, if it focuses or anything, but it says 40 Swedish crowns. In American, that would be like $4. In sane part of the world, it would be like 4 euros. Yeah, and that suitcase was really spacious, and it fit the requirement. Another lucky thing for me was that in my studio,
attic, addict.
After addict?
there was an old display, old LCD display, and I could just take it without any problem, and by a miracle it fit the suitcase exactly. I also got a 500GB SSD in the Suitcase computer, and that one I got when my father upgraded his laptop and I got his old one. So it was just for me to take out the SSD and boom bam shablam, I could put it on in the Suitcase computer. later, when summer started to roll around, and we needed a project to do for the teknikämnet in school, it was obvious for me to just go with the Suitcase computer. For there was a slight chance I would get sponsoring from my school to buy parts for the Suitcase computer, and that was exactly what I did. For the only things I needed to buy for the Suitcase computer was a new power supply, because the old one exploded, and another thing that I needed to buy was a special CPU cooler to fit in the Suitcase, because you couldn't have as this thing wouldn't really do. I double checked, I triple checked, I quadruple checked, and I quintuple checked the dimensions of the power supply, which was a Charcoon Silent Storm. Never heard of it before buying it, because having watched the Druga 1's video, I knew that the power supply might have been a bit of an issue. I had a power supply before the one I bought, and I think dimensions would have added up, but that one exploded, and that doesn't really matter because I think it wouldn't even had enough wattage or anything like that. The cooler I bought finally was a Noctua NHL91, and it has certainly great in the Suitcase computer. I never ever failed, never ever got too hot, even after like almost gaming for 12 hours straight on it while I was on a LAN party.
Ja, alltså jag ska göra det på nästa.
Hur fan hamnar jag här?
Well, now comes the important part. Experience and performance. Well, the experience of the Suitcase computer has, so far at least, been A+, double good. And I don't have any more things to add to it. It's easy to carry, though it weighs like 10 kilos, but I'm strong. And it has enough performance to game all the games you want to play at a LAN party at least. So it can play Risk of Rain, it can play CSGO, it can play R6 probably, but I have a Linux system, so no R6 for me for a while at least. And it can game Factorio and Minecraft and Team Fortress, of course. So it really takes in all the games that I would normally play anyway. Yeah, and besides being annoying to carry, we can put that annoying to carry. It weighs a lot, and the setup time being somewhere a little bit too long so you can just for you to just carry it around when traveling by bus or something. You will need to be sitting somewhere for a longer time, and the fact that the screen isn't way all too big, yeah, at least compared to what I'm used to gaming on. Well, besides that, I don't have anything to argue. It's quiet, it's fast, it's not super hot. I recently brought this computer, besides the LAN party, I brought it to Amarnas, and can't complain. It worked really well. It ran every game, as mentioned before. It wasn't a good online experience, but that was mainly because of the internet in Amarnas, not the Suitcase computer, as it worked fine at the LAN. As mentioned before, the 960 was my old graphics card before upgrading to my 3070. So I know about which games it can play, and that range is really big. I think I completed Metro Exodus on it. It wasn't the best of experiences playing Metro Exodus on the 960, but all the other Metro games and Fallout 4 and R6 and Just Cause 3 and GTA, some pretty big games, some pretty performance-heavy games, if I remember correctly. The 960 could take it on with ease. It would get pretty hot, but it was easy peasy lemon squeezy, as you say. And the main reason why I couldn't play R6 was because it runs Linux. As mentioned before, it was from my old laptop, and that laptop, as with any other system ever, couldn't run Windows that good. So when I took it over to my Suitcase computer, they just kept the operating system. It is Ubuntu 2004, I think. And some of you in the audience might say, that guy uses Ubuntu. He must be some kind of noob. Why doesn't he use a better operating system like me, like Arch? Well, it's because Ubuntu is user-friendly, and this was the first time running Linux for me, and I actually do use a better operating system on my main rig. I use Manjaro, which is Arch-based, so fuck you, Arch users, if there even are any of those. I don't really believe it. Jokes aside, if I were to make any changes to the operating system at least, I would either go Manjaro or Pop OS or like Mint OS. I've heard good things of those. Of course, there isn't really a big difference between the Linux distros, just how much bloat each one has, and I think what I've heard, Manjaro is pretty streamlined and Ubuntu is pretty not. Now we come to my favorite segment: how to set up the computer with pictures.
First, you need to find an open space where you can put your computer on. Then you will need to find an electrical outlet where you can plug in your extension cord, like so. And after that, you will need to unpack your computer, open it up first, then take everything, the peripherals and everything out like this. Then you will have to plug in the power supply and the monitor cable like this, and make sure that the monitor is glowing. If you have a HGW19 like I do, then you need to plug in your graphics card like so, and plug in the video output like this. Then you will need to take your 8-pin connector and plug it into the hole like that. And after that, you will need to start the computer by shorting 2 pins. I think it's either the red one or the green one, but with most metal objects you can just poke on both. One is restart, one is power on, doesn't really matter in the end. After that, I'll check if all the fans are spinning, and after that, check that you get a video output, like I do right here, and make sure that the operating system works just fine, as it should. Like so. Not that hard, really. Wow.
Okay, so it says here in my script that after showing how to build the computer and how to set it up, I would just show you some games on the computer, but since it's such a hassle to put up, and me not having enough energy to like do it, I'm just gonna say this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment, and dislike to hack the YouTube algorithm. And if you know what's that a reference, if you know the reference, please leave it in the comments. I want to see how many of you are cultivated. And without further ado, see you in like 6 months when I put up the next video.